Hey, it's Wednesday morning. It is morning. I'm not kidding. It's 10:30. Coffee time. Anyways, I was up like an hour ago, so don't beat me up. Anywho, I got some topics I want to discuss with you. One of them is niching down, and then we're going to talk about some ephemera stuff and ship some stuff. Usual video. You guys want to see something funny? It's not my front porch. It's just funny to me. This is my front porch, in case you're wondering. It's a bit of a mess. And that's that notorious hill that we talk about on the live that we have to mow. So you can see ground level here, hill road here. This needs mowed all the time. And it rained recently, so that means that's going to grow again. It was nice and dead there for a while. Now it's not dead. It's growing again. Crap. Anyways, what I was going to show you guys, and we got this crate from an auction the other day. This is funny. This is a funny thing. I know it's just a sheet, but it's actually something we sold. It's out here because we bought them and they stunk like mothballs, like really bad stunk like mothballs. And we can't store them with anything else, so I'm actually going to have to put that in a bag and ship it. Well, I'm going to have to put it in a bag and then ship it and then leave it out here because it stinks and it will make everything else that we ship today stink like mothballs. It's in the description. We put it very bold in the description that these smell like mothballs, and if we took them out of the package and washed them, they'd be fine. But we can't because obviously it's brand new. So it's hanging out outside until I ship it. Thought you guys would find that fun. All right. So, yeah. So I posted a picture. It was a screenshot of our listings, and we crossed over the 10,000 listing mark. And I was having some conversation with a few people about niching down on eBay, and has it affected our store negatively or positively, or is it tough to get momentum, that kind of thing. And I thought about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized that, yeah, it took a little bit more time when you niche down to get kind of the ball rolling. Because prior to this, kind of change in our store, we were kind of all over the place. We were, whatever we could buy, we'd sell, and we sold a lot of clothing. We sold a lot of new with tags things. We sold a lot of electronics and so forth. And a lot of them became problematic, which was part of the reason for us niching down. The other reason we niched down, and the most important reason, is we wanted our gross profit to be higher. So we were focusing on items that we could get inexpensively, meaning we could repeat the process forever. Meaning this wouldn't be a difficult thing to find frequently. And that's kind of what we did. And that's one of the reasons you see our store the way it is it's a very ephemera heavy, postcard heavy, cabbage patches, and then sprinkled in are things like sheets, meaning for like bed sheets, vintage linens, vintage towels, those things. And then every now and again, there's some weird stuff like license plates will show up, some Vietnam era stuff will show up, some, just different things will show up. Oh, and photos was the other thing. And that was done on purpose. And I was talking to somebody on Instagram about it, and they said that they're in a similar boat where they're trying to niche down, and it seems like it's, it kind of tanked their store at first, and then now it's kind of back on the upswing. And the more I think about this, the more we did the exact same thing, because once we made the change and we started listing everything, it takes some time for these customers to find you. And so we kind of did tank our store too for a little while, but we've been on the upswing for quite a while. So it does seem for those of you that are in that process or maybe considering starting that process, it's not a short process. It does take some time to get there. And when it comes to like ephemera, especially postcards or photos or anything like that, it is more of a numbers game and a competition game. So what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that it's not like listing a VCR where you're going to throw it up there and you're going to be one of three, and you either got to wait for you to be the lowest price, or you just price it, competitively, and then it'll sell. These are more of a numbers game, meaning that the more you put up, the more that are going to sell, and also they're slow. So you may be listing 50 to 75 a day and selling 10. And you're also selling inventory that you've had for a while, and so forth and so forth. So it does take some time to get to that consistent number when it comes to things like ephemera. That in, maybe there isn't a lot of people out there looking for this kind of thing all the time, and you're maybe waiting for that right buyer, or you're waiting for someone to stumble upon it, and that maybe they didn't know they were looking for this piece of ephemera, and they happened to stumble upon it and thought it was awesome and then just bought it. So it does take some time if you're going to niche down. Now, there's certain niches that are never going to be a problem, collectibles and so forth. Meaning like action figures, or, if you have access to shoes all the time or something like that. Those are a little easier to sell, so they're going to sell a little faster. We based a lot of our niche on two factors. First factor was interest from us. We figured we would be more likely to list and continue listing things that we enjoy, or that we, find interesting. That's hence the reason for the Cabbage Patches. I have an interest in postcards and a lot of ephemera. So that played a part, not the major part. The major part is that we could find them frequently and often, and we could get them cheap, which was a big driving factor. We found that, although our store previously maybe made a little bit more money, our profit was a lot lower because we were spending more acquiring items, mainly because, we're going to auctions, we're going to thrift stores, we're going to other places to get our items. So therefore they are costing us more and we're making less money. Now, is that a good way of running your business? I don't know. It's just the way we chose not to run our business, mainly because, it got to the point where we would have to go out and source every day, all the time, and it just became a lot more of a grind than we wanted it to be. So we chose this path for several reasons, and those are the reasons. But yeah, just kind of an FYI for you guys. I thought you'd find it interesting, and I did find it interesting discussing this on Instagram, because, I didn't really look at it that way until a person that shall remain nameless brought it up. And we did have a slowdown right at first, and then it kind of slowly climbed our way back in, because, with ephemera, it's more of a numbers game. You're going to have to put out as much of it as you can to kind of be one of the major sources on eBay, to the point where all your listings are coming up more often than most others. So, yeah. You guys want to see me list some postcards? I'll show you how I do it. Anyways, there's a couple stacks here. This is already listed. This needs to be listed. These have all been scanned already. So there's my scanner right there for those of you curious what it is. Canon, and this is the model. Anyways, yeah. So these are already scanned. They're already on my computer. I just got to list them. So I'm going to actually screen grab my computer and show you guys how I list these, and I'll chat with you about it. I'm going to set my camera up here on my computer just so that you guys can see this, and then I'll start the screen grab here. All right, so we got some drafts. There's some cabbies. Sarah likes to leave them with this photo of their face before she completes them. Anyways, below them is these drafts. These are my postcard drafts right here. And there's a bunch of them. I am listing, this is our SKU, Linen White Border 11, and then they all have the word postcard to start the title, just because that's going to be in every one of my titles anyways. All of them are at the beginning. So, I hit resume, and then it pulls that up. And then this is what we're listing today. This one. What we got? Bluff Point from State Highway, Penn Yan, New York, in the Finger Lakes, like the potatoes, Finger Lakes. Anyways, so all my scans are over here in this folder. I take and drag it on over. And then we got, there's the postcard. And then I use voice to text because it's just easier than typing. Bluff Point from State Highway, Penn Yan, New York, in the Finger Lakes. Computer's a little sleepy this morning. We always have some corrections to do. So you put a space there. State Highway 10. That's good. That's not what we wanted. We wanted Penn Yan, New York. So region New York City Finger Lakes is what eBay's pulling up, but this says Penn Yan, so we're gonna copy the city. We're gonna paste that down here, like so. And then what I do is I copy this title, and then I paste it into a eBay search to get an idea of what this is worth. I already kind of have an idea of what this is worth. There's the sold, $2.70, which is similar to ours, but not the exact one. But I have a feeling these are not these are not burning down the house. This is $4. This guy is smoking something. I don't know what, but $29.95, a little much when the card directly below it is the exact same card for $4.40. And then chances are good we'll find some cheaper ones down here, or maybe not. There's not a lot of these out there. But, you know, to stay competitive, I'm going to price it like this guy, because I don't honestly believe this postcard is worth $30. In fact, I know it's not worth $30, so I'm not going to list it anywhere close to that. Anyways, so this is what our price range is going to be. So we're back here. We've got the city filled in. There's nothing really subject-wise I can do here. So theme-wise, we're going to do, I always do cities and towns. There's no architecture in this. So we're not going to do that. I do famous places a lot. And then this one's a lot of landscapes, so we're going to do landscapes. And that's about it. This one is posted, and it is a linen card. So all this stuff I have pre-filled out in my draft. So like the country and region, manufacturer, the type, that's all filled in ahead of time. And then I leave these blank. I have posted condition always as unposted, because the majority of postcards I get are unposted, but I know to change that. And then linen, I change it back and forth between linen and white border, but on this particular SKU. So all this stuff is kind of filled in already, like my custom SKU and so forth. So, and then I go down here, paste in the title and the description, because I don't need to have much of a description. This is kind of a default. This is my low end, so this is as low as I'll go on any postcard. Minimum offers are set, and then we list it. And that's how I list a postcard. It's a little slower because I'm explaining it to you, but that's how it's done. So Mickey's on a break, by the way, in case you're wondering. He's had a tough day. Right, puppy? Puppy? He's sleepy. Hey! Didn't hear. A monumental thing has just occurred. Event has occurred. We sold something on Bonanza. That's right. Those of you haters out there that think that there's no money to be made selling on Bonanza, I'm here to tell you you're wrong. We sold this. Meatloaf, Bad Out of Hell cassette. For you ready for it? $3.50 plus shipping. We bought a bunch of cassette tapes a long time ago. Well, maybe about a year ago, and we've long since made our money back. We've spent like, I don't know, $30 on like 100 and some odd cassette tapes, and we've long since made plenty of money off of this. So we've slashed them all just to kind of get rid of them, because what's the point, right? Might as well get them out of here. So yeah, Bonanza sale. Those of you true non-believers, it can be done. So we're going to ship this out in a little box, because I'm a nice guy, and I'm not going to just chuck a cassette tape in a bubble mailer. Now, having said that, I know what you're saying. This is probably going to cut down on my profit a bit. And you're right. It is. But you know, I'm a nice guy, and what can I say? More than likely this person is buying it as a collectible, and it's going to be safer in this box. So, just ticked off another 75 cents worth of profit. But what are you going to do? You know, I never buy shipping from Bonanza. And apparently I don't have it set to 4x6 because this is not a 4x6 label. This is a piece of paper. So that's fun. Just do it the old MIckie way. Have a screen grab of it. Well, let's ship some other stuff, shall we? We've got some postcards to ship. We got a cabbie. We got all kinds of cool stuff. A postcard. Right here. It's a scene from St. Thomas. Or sorry, St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands. You would think these would be worth a fair amount of money. You know, it's a smaller area. It's a high tourist area, but a smaller area. And especially back then, I don't know that a lot of people traveled to St. John or St. Thomas. But they're not. This one sold for $7.25, so not a bad postcard sale. But yeah, I listed a bunch of them recently, and I don't know. They're not the. I thought they'd be a little higher dollar, but they're not. In fact, the majority of the money seems to lie in the postmark. I've seen some go for good money that have the postmark prior to it being a U.S. territory that seem to go for a little bit of money. But yeah, interesting. What else we got? We got more postcards sold. These are great sellers if you guys ever come across a lot of them. The large letters, we've talked about these before. This is Owensboro, Kentucky. No idea where Owensboro, Kentucky is. Never been to Owensboro. I'm sure it's lovely. But, yeah. Linen white, the linen large letters are good. They make reproductions of them in the more modern chrome postcards, which are, you know, don't have the texture of linen. But the original linens are the ones that are worth the money. They do well. We sell them on a couple other platforms, too. We sell them on Poshmark and MIckie, because MIckie recently got a standard envelope as well. And we've sold some. People, I know what you're going to say, too. Why would anybody spend $7 to ship a postcard to them on Poshmark? Because Poshmark doesn't offer a lower shipping cost. And you're right, why would they? And people have... but more so than not, people come through and buy several and then ship them out that way. So they buy, 10 or 12 of them, and then, that tends to make a little more sense. And it's really easy to ship those because we use that flat rate small box that like nobody in their right mind would ever use normally. So that's what we do with them. It seems to work out. I mean, we haven't sold a ton. We tend to put the more ornate ones and the ones that people may use for like decorations. So like some of the greetings or the Easter or Christmas or those ones we tend to put on Poshmark and MIckie because people buy them for decorations. So we sold this. It's a Dunn Scott company. It's an obstetrician Laws slide. I guess this is like a... Oh, yeah, this is a... I don't know what this is. I think it's a scorekeeper of some sort. That's upside down. That's good. There we go. And then there's like a scorekeeper over here. So I think it's like... Oh, it's a bridge for playing bridge. Scorekeeper. Interesting. This sold for $10.50, this little thing. Which is crazy how that works. So, they go in these because you can't put them in smaller envelopes, and we all know why that is. This is going to get some Do Not Bend stickers. I know those of you that think I'm making it a target, which I probably am, but at least it shows I'm making an effort, right? I don't think this weighs over 3 ounces, but I always have to check. Do you guys always check? Like when you're like, oh, 3 ounces, I don't know. Knowing full well that it's not even close. It's not even close. It's 1.5 ounces. But I always have to check. I don't know why. I think it's because when we first started out, we made a lot of errors in weights. So like now I have to check like all the time to make sure that the weights are accurate. And I don't know. It's probably just some sort of little obsessive compulsive thing that I have because of a couple bad experiences. But yeah, I always have to check. What else do we got here? We got more large letter postcards. Yeah, just doing well. Alexandria, Louisiana. Louisiana. Louisiana? How do you say it? Louisiana? Louisiana? Louisiana. Louisiana. That's how the locals say it. Louisiana. Greetings from Alexandria, Louisiana. That's right. I've never been to Louisiana. I take that back. I have. I had a layover for 2 hours in Louisiana, and I got to experience the lovely airport. I did get to have a beignet in the airport, though. It was good. I don't know if it was authentic because it was in the airport, but it was good. Had some coffee, had some a beignet, and sat there for 2 hours and waited for my flight that was delayed. And it was fun. But I've never been otherwise. I've never been outside. To go. Never seen Bourbon Street or anything like that. It's on the list of things to do. This is going back to Louisiana. That's good. Pollock, Louisiana. Never been there either. But yeah, never been to Bourbon Street. Never been to any of the French Quarter. I'm sure I'm a bit old for it these days. Because I'm not into like the drink your brains away till you puke anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see it. I know we've talked about going to Biloxi, and Biloxi's kind of a short drive to Louisiana, or to New Orleans, Louisiana. So, yeah, we sold this. It's a Care Bear plush, Purple Cousins Cozy Heart Penguin. There's 2 things today that I sent tons of offers on, and that people sent us a bunch of lowball offers on, and this is one of them. We sent out tons of offers on this thing, and we got a bunch of like $5 offers on this thing, and nobody was biting, and then finally, somebody did. So, $8.50. I feel like ADH Dave here selling plush, but you know, that's how it goes. This little guy's going in a bubble mailer. I'm sorry, but it's a plush. It's not going to get damaged. It'll be fine. So there we go. Boom. Plush. This could go. This might go first class. We're going to find out here in a second. I hope so, because we have it marked first class. Yeah, sure. It's under 8 ounces, too. Woohoo! You guys get happy whenever things like that happen? When you overshoot the weight? I do. That means I'm making a little bit extra money, and I like it. What else are we selling? I bet you can't guess. Postcard. It's a lighthouse. Lighthouses do well. I'll let you guys in on the little family secret. Well, family secret. A secret about me. When I was young, I was obsessed with lighthouses. I don't know why, but I just loved lighthouses. My mom and my dad were very supportive of it, and they took me around to see lighthouses because I was a total dork that liked lighthouses. I don't currently still like lighthouses, but I used to when I was a child. I love them, and I don't know why, because, I mean, they're cool, but, like, I don't know why I was so obsessed with them. My dad bought me, like, a book and stuff, and we went to a bunch of lighthouses up and down the California coast, and, yeah, obsessed. Loved lighthouses. I was a total nerd when I was a kid. Still am a nerd, but not in that way. I'm just a big child now. But, yeah, lighthouses. Sold lighthouses. This happens a lot. Sold 2 postcards. I listed them yesterday. I probably undersold them, but I couldn't find a lot of comps on them. And like I said earlier in the video, you don't want to take a lot of time with postcards. And when you have such little amount of money into them, getting a couple extra dollars out of them may or may not really matter. But I did find a bunch of similar ones, so I can't really say that these would be super valuable. I think just this was the right person came along. They're views from Montauk, Long Island. This is right off the Hamptons. It's a cape right off the Hamptons. I've never been there, obviously, because I don't have Hamptons money. But yeah, just some fishing boats. Someone came through and bought both of them. And that happens a lot with postcards, where people are watching your store or something to that effect, and they both, they buy multiples. So it does happen, and it happens frequently. It happens. I shouldn't say that, because that's doing you guys a disservice, I guess. It happens a lot when you have a lot listed, and I'm not saying that to discourage anybody. I'm saying that it happens much more often. We didn't start noticing this happen a lot until we reached the I don't know, 3,000 to 5,000 range in postcards, and that's total amount listed. So the more you have listed, the better off you're going to be. And this is going to happen a lot. Now we're right around like 7, almost 8,000, and it's happening frequently, like once a week. People will come in and buy multiples. So, when it comes to postcards, this isn't it isn't like VCRs, or, and I use that example in the last thing we talked about. It isn't like, selling a pair of shoes or something, or Jordans, or even a Cabbage Patch for that matter. It's more like, it's a slower game, and it's more quantity than it is, what am I trying to say? I'm just rambling now. It's not like you list and sell, you list something and then 2 days later it sells. It's more like you list and list and list and list and list and list, and then people start perusing your store as time goes on. And then people start following your store, and people start, signing up for your newsletter and all kinds of stuff. So you don't get the instant gratification from postcards like you do other things. It's not something you list and then immediately get offers on, over and over and over again. And don't get me wrong, there are cards out there that will do that, but the vast majority of the time it's list and wait. So you do get, and people do give up a lot on postcards because of that reason, because it's not that instant gratification that you list and they sell, and you list and they sell, and you list and they sell. It's more list, and then sell, list, and then, so it takes a while to get it going. But once you get in that rhythm and you get things listed, you guys saw how long it took me, and I was explaining it the whole time I was doing it, and it still probably took under 5 minutes for me to list a postcard. So think about it. If I'm not explaining it, it takes me 1.5 to 2 minutes to list a postcard. If it's something that I have to delve a little deeper in and do some research, maybe 5 minutes, and then I'll call it quits and just either get it out there or I'll set it aside. Simple. Anyways, 2 postcards going out, both Montauk, Long Island. The Hamptons. Going to the Hamptons. East Hampton, New York. Someday. Maybe I'll have a house there with a big Daily Cabbage logo on it or something. Sold some photos. It's a cool one. This is looks like some brothers, but not sure. Some soldiers from World War II, WW2, and yeah, these are cool. Sold for one photo, $17.50. It's the reason we do what we do. And this is part of that reason. These are easy to get. They're very undervalued by most people. And some of them, most of them, have a pretty good profit margin on them. We probably spent 10 cents on this thing, if that. Once it's shipped and in this thing, it's probably costing us 20, 25, 30 cents. Even if it's costing us 70 cents. We'll say $1 just to make math simple. We netted $16.50. I don't know. Why wouldn't you? Right? Oh boy. Are we going to get some comments now, huh? Comment down below. Tell me how wrong I am. Do it. I dare you. Here we go with my obsessive compulsive weighing again. I knew it wasn't 4 ounces. Saved myself a little money. Going to California. All right, kids, let's wrap it up here. Long enough, right? I got more to ship, but you guys don't need to watch me do the rest of it. Anywho, yeah, thank you guys for responding and commenting on these videos. It's awesome, and I do enjoy making them. It's kind of fun having like a day or so where I'm chatting with you guys just on the videos. It's fun. So hit the like button if you haven't already, and if you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's free. You might as well do it, right? See you next time. Bye.
Good day, sir!